All right. All right, so back for more problems. Number 16 now, same thing. We cross multiply what's in the brackets and then we get rid of the fractions. So it's going to be this thing multiplied by this thing. And since we are subtracting here, we're going to multiply this by this, and we're going to multiply this by this. So it is a negative 1 over 2 times 2 over 3x. That's really saying minus 1 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 3 multiplied by x. And here we can scrap this 2 here, these two 2's, right? And we have negative 1 over 3x. Negative 1 over 3x. Next one, we have here minus 1/2, right? Multiplied by minus, because we have this little minus sign here, minus 3 over 4. So when you multiply two negatives, it becomes a positive. So we know the answer is going to be positive. And can we cross multiply? Can we cross divide anything? Nope. So that's 1 times 3 equals 3. 2 times 4 equals 8. So that's where we are with that problem. Continuing, minus 7 over 2x equals minus 83 over 24. Now, I think they've tried to make this a little bit easy for us. They tried to make all the denominators a factor of 24, including 24 here. So to get rid of the fraction, we'll multiply both sides by 24. So let's just put a nice big fat bracket here. Put a 24 here. Then put a nice bracket here. And put a 24 here. Let's start with this side. Well, when you multiply by 24, you're really multiplying by 24 over 1. You can cross divide. Boom. You're getting rid of this. And you're left with minus 83. Here, with this 24 times minus 1/3, you can cross divide and do like this, and that becomes an 8. 8 times minus 1x, or just minus x, becomes minus 8x, because a positive multiplied by negative equals a negative. Still multiplying everything by 24 here. Can we cross multiply? Yes. This 8 here and this 3, that becomes a 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. That's two positives. Multiplying two positives, that's plus 9. Here we have, let's put another 24 here, because we're multiplying everything in the brackets by 24. Can we cross divide here? Yes. 24 over 1 and 7 over 2. Here we can get rid of this 2. Here we can bring that down to 12. So that's 12 times minus 7. That is minus 84x. So far, so good. So let's combine these two buggers. So we have minus 92x plus 9 equals minus 83. If we subtract both sides by 9, I get minus 92x equals minus 92. If I divide both sides by 92, I get, you see it, x equals 1. I think I'm right. I feel right. Yes, right here. That's 1. Boom. Let's keep going. I do that when I study, like I do a certain amount, then I reward myself, like I have popcorn or something, or like some sweets. 16 over 9 equals minus 4 over 3 brackets minus 4 over 3 n minus 4 over 3. Now here they're messing with us by using a bunch of 4 over 3's, but it's just still the same thing. You start by getting rid of the brackets, right? Can you solve for what's in the brackets? No, you cannot take minus 4n and subtract just 4, minus 4 over 3n and subtract minus 4 over 3. You need to have like terms. That means the only thing you could subtract something n by is by something n. And this minus 4 over 3 right over here is just a number, where this is a number multiplied by n. So let's get rid of these brackets. So minus 4 over 3 times minus 4 over 3 times, and notice we have here two negatives. And when you have an even number of negatives and a multiplication, the answer is positive. So can we cross divide? Nope. So it's 4 times 4 equals, excuse me, 16. 3 times 3 equals 9, multiplied by n. Next one, minus 4 over 3, minus 4 over 3. Now you have to remember your fraction rules. So two negatives again. Two negatives again. So that's minus 4 times minus 4 equals 16. And 3 times negative 3 equals 9. So we have here 16 over 9 plus 16 over 9n plus 16 over 9. Let's bring this down here. 16 over 9. Okie dokie. So we have to get rid of this 16 over 9 minus 16 over 9. So 16 over 9 minus 16 over 9 equals 0. And 16 over 9, n is left. So really, at this point, you don't really have to do anything because 16 over 9 is just anything times 0 equals 0, right? So n has to be 0. How's that answer turn out? Am I right? Yeah, it's 0. How would you have done it the long way? Let's just do it there for the benefit of like how we got there. So let's say we would have had, I'm going to start right here, right? So 16 over 9 equals 16 over 9 plus, oh, here there's an n. 16 over 9 plus 16 over 9. All right, so what would we have done here? We multiplied everything by 9 to get rid of the fractions. That's what we did in all the other problems. Let's do that. So this crosses out, that's 16. This and this cross out, this and this cross out, so that is 16n plus 16. So we do minus 16 on both sides. So we get 0 equals 16n. If we divide both numbers by 16, 0 over 16 equals 0. And that equals n, right? So that's done. Number 18. This is the worst part about math, doing the problems, but it's also the part that you learn. So it's kind of like math is kind of like vegetables. They taste horrible, but they're very good for you. What's going on here? All right, number 18 now. 2 over 3 brackets m plus 9 over 4 equals minus 10 over 3 equals minus 53/18. For the rest of your, probably most of you's mathematical lives, you will always be looking for a variable. In this case, it is m. You're always looking for that variable. That's what math, most of the math is all about, and that extends its way into like even the first course of calculus. In fact, the first course of calculus, which is differential calculus, is single variable calculus. That's what it's called. So you're always looking for a variable. That's all you do throughout all the, like for the next years. For the next years, that's all you're going to do. All right, so we're going to get rid of those brackets. Boom. Multiply by this and multiply by this. So 2 over 3 times n equals 2 over 3 times m. Always remember, when you multiply a variable by a number, you don't have to put a multiplication sign, you just have to put the letter next to it. 2 over 3 times 9 over 4. Can I reduce something here? Yes, I can. I can reduce here. You see what I did there? I cross-divided. And look, I'm going to do it again. Boom. So what's the answer? 1 times 3 and 1 times 2 plus 3 over 2. Little tricks there. Minus 10 over 3 equals minus 53 over 18. So let's get rid of these effing fractions. I think I can multiply everything by 18 and I'll be okay, right? So let's do that. In fact, you know what? There's 1, 2, 3 things. So I'll do 3 18s here. So I'm not multiplying by 18 times 3 times. This one is for that one. Whoop. This one is for that one, and this one is for that one. Let's take a look. So if we look here, we have 18 divided by 3. That becomes a 6, and that becomes a 1. 6 times 2 equals 12. 12m. Here, yet again, 16 divided by 2, that is 9. 9 times 3 equals 27. Yet again, another 3 here. We're dividing that. 6 times -10, -60. Equals. Here, the 18s cancel out, right? Minus 53. So, I guess we can combine these ones. 27 minus 60 equals minus 33. And then if I want to toss it over to the other side, I have to add 33. So let's do that. Minus 53 plus 33 equals minus 20. So that's 12m equals minus 20. Divide both sides by 12, and we get m equals negative 20 over 12. Divide both sides by 4, and I get m equals minus 5 over 3. Does that look good? Is that looking good? Yes, it is. Boom. All right, 19 minus 5 over 8 equals 5 over 4r minus 3 over 2 in brackets. That's the problem, right? Looking good. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of the brackets. I'm going to repeat myself over and over again because teachers don't do that. Oh, we covered it last class. I'm not saying it over again. Never hear that from me. Never hear that from me. So here we have something minus something. And if we want to multiply that entire thing by something, normally we would subtract first, right? So let's think about that. If I have 5, 3 minus 2, I would do 5 times 3 minus 2 equals 1. And I would get 5 as an answer. But we can't do that because we cannot subtract 3 over 2 from r. r can be anything, whereas 3 over 2 is definitively numbers. It's nothing else. R could be apples. You can't subtract 3 over 2 from an apple, or 2 apples, or 3 apples. You can only do subtraction and addition with like terms. However, you can multiply unlike terms. So check this out. We're going to multiply this guy by this. I'm going to multiply this guy by that. So that becomes, let's just rewrite the minus 5 over 8. 5 over 4 times r equals 5 over 4 times r. 5 over 4 times negative 3 over 2. Oh, we're multiplying and we have one negative, so the answer will be negative. That's 5 times 3 equals 15. 4 times 2 equals 8. Bueno, let's get rid of the fractions. We can multiply both sides by 8. I'm going to put 2 8s here to show that I'm multiplying this one by that one and this one by that one, but it's the same 8. It's just for the sake of showing you the work. So get rid of these guys, right? Because you cross divide and you get minus 5 equals, and then you cross divide this 4 from this 8 over 1 and you get a 2 here. So it's 2 times 5 times r, that's 10r. Think about it. And here we get rid of the 8 and we're left with minus 15. All right, so let's continue. Let's bring this 15 over to this other side. And I would have to add 15, right? So I'm adding 15 to both sides. Minus 5 plus 15, that equals 10, equals 10r. Divide by 10, and I get r equals 1. Is that the right answer? Yes, it is. Moving along to number 20. Whoop. Okay, number 20. 1 over 2, that's number 20. All right, 1 over 12 equals 4 over 3x plus 5 over 3 x minus 7 over 4. All right, so first thing we have here is brackets. We got to get rid of these brackets. Boom. Multiply this by this. Remember, this x can be either apples or bananas or cars or, I don't know, computers. And minus 7/4 isn't anything. It's just a number. You cannot subtract, you cannot have x number of computers and subtract 7/4. You just can't do it. So what we're going to do is we can multiply, however, a number of something by anything, right? If I have 3 computers and I multiply it by 5/3, I can have 5/3 plus the number of computers I said I had. So let's take a look at this. 5 over 3 times x equals 5 over 3x. 5 over 3 times minus, remember this minus sign, by minus 7 over 4. We are insured because this is a multiplication and there is an odd number of negatives. It will be a negative answer. So that's 5 times 7 equals 35, and 3 times 4 equals 12. Bueno, and we can just write in this. This rest of the equation still exists. Okie dokie. Now look at how convenient this problem has made things for us. We have here an addition of x's, which means we can, and they have the same denominator, we can get rid of this right away. So before we do our fancy getting rid of fractions, listen, we have here something over 3 plus something over 3 equals something over 3. And so you add the numerators. 4 plus 5 equals 9x. And well, if I divide that, that's 3x. So 3x minus 35 over 12. Now, I think we can get rid of these fractions. What do you think? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not yet. Take a look at this now. I have to get rid of minus 35 over 12, and there's a 1 over 12 here. Same denominator. I can simply do simple addition and subtraction. So I'm going to add 35 over 12 here, and I'm going to add 35 over 12 here. So this cancels out. 1 over 12, it's not a negative. 1 over 12 plus 35 over 12. Anytime you add, you carry over the denominator. 1 plus 35 equals 36. That's 3. That's 3, isn't it? 36 divided by 12 equals 3. So that is 3. So we have here 3 equals 3 over x. If we divide both sides by 3, I get x equals 1. Really? Is that the answer? Yes, it's 1. 1, number 1. Isn't that awesome? All right. Moving along. We are moving along top speed. Top speed. Number 21 now. 21. Minus 11 over 3 plus 3 over 2b equals 5 over 2b minus 5 over 3. Bueno. All right. So let's see what's going on over here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, same thing as always, get rid of this brackets, right? So 5 over 2 times b is 5 over 2b. 5 over 2 times minus 5 over 3. Let's bring that over here. 5 over 3. All right. So we're multiplying two things, and there is an odd number of negative things. Therefore, the answer will be negative. And we multiply the bottom and we multiply the top. That's 5 times 5 equals 25. 2 times 3 equals 6. That's minus 25 over 6. Minus 25 over 6. So here we have the minus 11 over 3 plus 3 over 2b equals. All right. So I think we're going to get rid of those fractions and we're going to multiply everything by 6. What do you think? Is 6 divided by 3, you get a whole number. 6 divided by 2, you get a whole number. 6 divided by 6, you get a whole number. So let's do that. I'm going to put a 6 here. I'm going to put a 6 here. So anytime you have one of these things, It's you multiply, just like you did before here, you multiply this by this and this by this. So I'm going to do it long form this time just to make sure you guys get it. 6 over 1 times negative 11 over 3 equals, well, 6 divided by 3, when you cross divide, I can get a 2 here and a 1 here. So that will be 2 times minus 11 equals minus 22, because 1 times 1 equals 1. 6 times 3 over 2b. Let's do that right here. 6 over 1 times 3 over 2 times b. Now, if I cancel this here, if I cross divide, 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 3 over 1 times 3 over, it's now 1, equals 9 times b. That is 9b. Equals, here, 6 times 5 over 2 times b. So let's do this. 6 over 1, because 6 is 6 over 1, times 5 over 2 times b over 1. You can divide these things, right? Or just b, not to confuse you, just b. That becomes a 3. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 3 times 5 equals 15 times b equals 15b. And here we have like a sneaky subtraction sign. All we have to do here is 6 times anything over 6. You just cancel the 6's. So that's minus 25. Minus 25. Let's combine like terms, shall we? Let's move this bugger over here and let's move this bugger over there. So minus 25, I have to add 25. 9, I have to subtract 9b here, right? On both sides. 9b plus 25 here. This cancels, minus 22 plus 25 equals 3. 15b minus 9b equals 6b. If I divide both sides by 6, this becomes 1/2. This eliminates, so b equals 1 over 2. Number 21, b over 2, b over 2, b over 2, 21, 21, 21. Yes, it is 1/2, exactly. Moving along, number 22 right now. Number 22. All right. And these problems should be becoming progressively harder. 7 over 6 minus 4 over 3n equals minus 3 over 2n plus 2 times n plus 3 over 2. Wow, that's pretty complicated if you ask me, but we'll get through it. First, we get rid of those brackets. 2 times n equals 2n. 2 times 3 over 2. If you cancel those 2's, you're left with only 3, right? Because 2 over 1 times 3 over 2 equals 3 over 1 equals, get it? All right, let's just rewrite this. 7 over 6. Take your time when you're rewriting. I find a lot of the mistakes that are made is by rewriting too fast, and your variables become numbers and you get all screwed up. So okay, let's what do we do here? Let's just get rid of the fractions, shall we? We have a 6, a 3, a 2. I guess if we multiply everything by 6, we should be okay, right? Boom, boom. So 6, so let's do this one by one. 6 over 1 times 7 over 6. I'll cross that out and I'm left with 7. 6 over 1 times minus 4 over 3 times n. If I eliminate this guy, I'm left with 2 here. 2 times minus 4 equals minus 8 times n equals, bueno, 6. So that's negative 3 over 2 times 6 over 1. This becomes, do you see what I did there? 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Minus 3 times 3 equals minus 9 over 1, or minus 9. Minus 9. Oh, don't forget that n. Right? 6 times, there's no fraction here, so you just multiply. 6 times 2 equals 12, times n equals 12. Oh, 12n. 6 times 3 equals 18. So let's combine like terms, shall we? Minus 9n plus 12n equals 3n plus 18. Here we have 7 minus 8n. All right, so let's bring all the n's on one side. Let's add 8n here to get rid of this, and add 8n on this side. That'll give us 11n. And here we'll subtract 18 from both sides, and we will get eliminated on here. And on the left-hand side, 7 minus 18 equals minus 11. If we divide both sides by 11, I'm left with n equals minus 1, right? So is that the right answer? Number 22, number 22. Yes, it is. Bueno. Number 23 now. Number 23. So, now they're getting sneaky. Hold on. Minus negative 5 over 2x minus 3 over 2 equals minus 3 over 2 plus x. Okay, now take a look at this. When you see something like this, what they're really saying is, let's rewrite it. When you see minus brackets, minus anything, is really saying multiplied. You're multiplying it by negative 1. So that is the sneaky thing of this problem. So now that you know it's negative 1, you have to multiply negative 1 by this, and you have to multiply negative 1 by this. And really all you're going to do is change the sign of the problem. Because if it's a negative, it's two negatives, and it becomes a positive. If it's a positive, it becomes a negative, because you're multiplying by minus 1, and that's only one negative in the statement. So let's do it the whole thing, because once again, I'm not your shitty math teacher. Minus 1 over 1 multiplied by minus 5 over 2. There's a negative here and there's a negative here. An even number of negatives in a multiplication generates a positive, x generates a positive result. So 1 times 5 equals 5. 1 times 2 equals 2 times x. So 5 over 2x. Minus 1 times minus 3 over 2. That one's easy. It becomes plus 3 over 2. Or minus 1 over 1 times minus 3 over 2. Two negatives, it becomes a positive. Equals negative 3 over 2 plus x. Bueno. So we're going to get rid of that 2. That over 2, right? The fraction is over 2. So let's multiply everything by 2. All right. So anytime you multiply each side, you put it in brackets and you multiply each item by that 2. So that's 2 times 5 over 2 times x. So that's 2 over 1 times 5 over 2 times x. Cross divide this, that becomes 5x. 2 over 1 times 3 over 2, you cross divide and you're left with 3 equals negative 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. You cross divide, you're left with minus 3. And 2 times x equals 2x. So let's get rid of the variables. I'm going to move the x's on the left side. So I will do minus 2x here, minus 2x here. This eliminates. And I'm going to do here, I'm going to do minus 3 on this side, minus 3 on this side. This one eliminates. So I'm left with 5x minus 2x equals 3x equals minus 3 equals minus 6. Divide both sides by 3. I'm left with x equals negative 2. Negative 6 divided by 3. And is that the right answer? I'm clueless. Clueless. Yes, it is negative 2. All right, and that is it. We'll continue later.